Hello. During the second screencast, I want to cover a couple of other issues that arise in searching in the catalog, Hollis, for items that you encounter in your photostats, and a little bit of the, let's say, manipulation that you will be doing in the spreadsheet to enter your data. And in particular, I'm referring here to unmerging merged cells. To do that, I want to focus on these two catalog cards, which, as you can see by just sort of examining the information contained on them, record different editions of the same work. If you look at these cards, you'll see two call numbers, a dateless BML call number up at the top right corner of this card, 24A222, which is repeated again on this card, 24A222, and a BML call number with date, 24A18953. Note also that these cards record two separate editions of this work. First edition printed or published in 1895, and a second edition from 1900. You can see that information on the top card, and then you can also see it on the bottom card. So we'll begin by searching for either of these call numbers. I'll start with 24A222. Got my Hollis search window here. These are BML call numbers, so we will search under call number -other, 24A222. And you'll see that that pulls up two records. The difference between them is in the edition. Here is the 1895 edition, the first edition. Here's the record for the 1900 edition. So I'll click on the second, 1895. It indicates that there is at least one offsite copy. We'll go down here. In fact, there are two offsite copies listed in Countway's collection. And both of those call numbers that we saw on the photostats are represented here. Let me go back and check the other entry, 1900 edition. Let's click on that search result. Second edition, go down to the holding statement, and we'll see that there is one copy of the second edition under the call number 24A222. Okay, let's go ahead and search under the MMS ID for this second edition. Again, making sure that all sheets is selected. It is selected by default, so that generally shouldn't be a problem for you. Okay, and we have a search result. I'm going to take a moment and look at what I have here. I see each of these two editions of the work represented in consecutive rows here. The 1895 edition, and merged together are rows for the HML copy with the BML call number with a date, and the BML copy with the BML call number without a date. And then above these is a row recording a copy of the second edition, printed in 1900, under the BML call number without a date. So at this point, I can confirm that we have found matches for, looking at the, let's look at the topmost card, 24A222, there should be a first edition cataloged under that call number and a second edition cataloged under that call number. And there they are. And then on the second card, where we have the other call number, we have both the first and second editions represented. Okay, let's go ahead and record the ownership information that we can in the spreadsheet. This is a BML item. And now to record ownership for these two items, we have to unmerge this merged cell. Given that the ownership cells are merged together in these two rows, we would only be able to enter one data value, but we want to enter different data values. And so the way to do that is to select the cell just by clicking anywhere inside it and heading up to this button, select merge type, click that drop down. Let's do that again. That's still in the way. Move this out of the way. Actually, let's delete the search field altogether and select unmerge. And now we have separate ownership fields that we can enter appropriately. HML for this row, because this corresponds to the item cataloged under the BML with date call number, and BML. Okay, so we're done. Now the only unresolved question is whether we are to interpret this card as indicating that there should be two items in ALMA cataloged under this call number, the BML call number with a date, one of them being the first edition and the other of them being the second edition. Now, I regard this as a little bit ambiguous. And in fact, I personally would be interested in knowing how it is that these cards with multiple that kind of represent a merge or a merger of BML and HML's holdings. I'd be kind of interested to know how these cards came to be printed and what they represent. Because of course there is a little bit of duplication here, because the top card, which only represents a BML holding, because it's only got a BML style BML call number, already records the first and second editions. So this seems to be a little redundant because you've got the BML style BML call number on this card too, and in addition, an HML style BML call number. So for the purposes of deciding whether we would want to place an entry under the additional photostat items, I mean, the reason why I'm asking this question is because you might interpret the second card as saying, well, there should be copies of each of these editions under this call number and under this call number, but we didn't find a copy in ALMA of the second edition under this call number. So would we want to create an entry in the photostat book for that? My suggestion in that case is to say, don't worry about it. It looks like everything that we really need to know is already recorded on this spreadsheet, and we don't need to worry about adding any additional entries in the additional photostat items spreadsheet. So from my point of view, we're done with both of these catalog cards and we can move on. Okay, so that represents what I wanted to say about those cases. And in particular, I wanted this screencast to demonstrate how to unmerge ownership